right. Thank you, Kim. For those of you who are not from that small Danish company that begins with a V, I am Ike Anyanwu-Ebo. Um, I am with Group Quality or Group HSQE Quality for Renewable Energy Solutions. And I'm going to go through my presentation, but the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go through a quality moment. Now, how many people are familiar with safety moments? Everyone? Yeah. Now, how many of you do quality moments? Oh, you guys are ruining it for me. Okay. Well, one thing. Oh, I went the wrong way. Okay. All right. Um, Eva Rutowski, where are you? Where are you? Where's your hand? There you are. Okay. Eva and I were talking about, a standard approach to having a quality moment. Kind of a guideline, a best practice, that sort of thing. Again, a kind of a product that APQP4Wind offers all of us, right? So that you can kind of pull from it and say, if I want to do a quality moment or improve them, this is something I can pull from that APQP4Wind offers. So in general, a quality moment, like a safety moment, is you look at something that's kind of aligned with the APQP4Wind principles, right? The next thing you do is you come up with a particular principle that fits the discussion you're trying to have. The next thing you do is you kind of figure out whether you have internal or external customers, and you tailor your message to whoever you're talking to. And you find a hook, and you make sure that hook sticks, right? So in a nutshell, that's what we're trying to kind of guide or kind of develop. If you have any questions or any input, please reach out to Eva and I, and we'd be happy to take that input as we develop it. Now, the quality moment specifically, and for everyone from Vestas, you never saw this, ever, at all. This is nothing you've ever seen. For everyone else, these are the res quality behaviors. There's 4 of them. The beauty of these quality behaviors is that they can apply to safety, they can apply to anything. How many people have teenagers or had teenagers? God bless you, and you should give yourselves a round of applause. I have 3 at home right now. I have a 17-year-old and a set of twins that are 14. And everything from telling them to put dishes in the dishwasher to sweeping up the floor to doing their homework, all of that can come down to some of what we're seeing here. If something is wrong, stop and speak up, right? Kind of, pull the line or pull the cord, stop the line, push the button, have a safety stand down, a quality stand down, that sort of thing. I hope I can keep this thing on my ear. The next one is pretty standard as well. Adhere to processes. We talked a lot about that sort of quality assurance, adhering to processes. When we adhere to processes, we don't have variability. Because if we have variability, that is the enemy of quality, right? The next one, do it right the first time, and that was mentioned by some of the earlier speakers, is our quality moment today. Doing it right the first time means that all of a sudden, if you do it right, you don't have to fix it on the back end. Everyone's kind of familiar with the iceberg, the quality iceberg, so we don't have to fix things on the back end. No rework, no repair, no cost. And finally, learn from our mistakes. We're all human. My kids constantly tell me that when I talk to them about their grades. I'm human, I make mistakes, okay, that's great, but let's learn from our mistakes. And when we learn from our mistakes, we keep them from happening again in the future. So the quality moment that we came up with reminds me, or what inspired me was 1980s. I grew up in the 80s. You can kind of tell how old I am. Ford Motor Company had a commercial that kind of focused on their approach to quality at the time. And I'm going to try and pull it up and see if I can do this. Now, that commercial, I looked for it on YouTube. I couldn't find it. So Eva actually recommended, hey, use an AI tool to recreate it. And I said, Eva, I'm 54 and I'm kind of terrified about using AI tools. To which Eva said, but Ike, you have a 17-year-old daughter. I'm sure she can help you with this. And I ended up figuring it out, and I got the thumbs up from my 17-year-old daughter. So you're going to see kind of a recreation of that famous 1980s commercial. And I'm going to pull it up, and we're going to all take a good look. Come on. All right, bear with me, guys. Okay, gonna make it full screen, and let's listen. All right, everyone. Now, I'm very jet lagged, as you can imagine. So I'm gonna really get engagement with you guys. I'm gonna ask questions. I want you to raise your hands. Don't be shy. We're all friends. We're all colleagues. What are your initial thoughts on that commercial? Just three folks. Raise your hands. Throw words out, please. Yes. Yes, exactly. A lot of waste, cost of poor quality, right? Very good. Please. Exactly. So now we're talking about quality affecting delivery, right? Very good observation. One more. Yes. Exactly. As my colleague Wayne and I talk about all the time. Oh, and I forgot to introduce. I have a colleague from Res, Wayne Mason. Raise your hand, Wayne. Wayne is my counterpart in the America's Quality or America's HSQE. He's my partner in crime, and Wayne mentions that sort of thing all the time. 80% or 100% inspection is only 80% effective. So very good observation. One more. What's that again? Ah, she stopped production. Yeah. Exactly. It's like spark plugs filling up this room. It's terrifying in terms of quality. Now, appreciate everyone jumping in. I'm going to continue to ask you questions. Um, One thing I'm going to do is because I am so jet lagged and because I want to engage you all, I'm going to put you all to work, right? So in Res, we have a tool called Slido. So you're going to take out your smartphone. We're going to have a QR code, and we're going to take some informal polling to see what you guys think about some of the items that we're going to go through, both the quality moment and the overall presentation. Let's see. Oh, it didn't take. Bear with me. Uh-oh. Okay, we're having technical issues here. Sorry about that. Okay. Forum. I'm getting good at this. All right, present. All right, now we're good. All right. So we kind of aligned along, on the thought that this wasn't probably the best thing to do. So I want you to take out your phones, get the QR code, and what is exactly wrong with this issue? And we're going to have a word cloud, and we're going to be able to see in real time, are there any kind of themes? Oops, come on. The active poll should be showing. Did anyone put in any words yet? Oh, we got participants typing. Okay, great. Whew, thank God. Ooh, technology is scary. Okay, so we should be excellent. All right, good. Good, we're getting stuff. It's wonderful. All right, it should start coming in. And we're going to take a look and see. Awesome. Awesome. Great. Great. It's just taking some time. Okay. Yes. Oh yeah. I don't know. It just keeps slipping off. I don't You want me to just keep this one on? I can. I can. Sure. All right. I'll just Yeah, I think I can. All right, guys. Oh, I don't have to scream anymore. All right. This is great. I really appreciate the input and the feedback. Um, any common themes? anything that we can point to, or we kind of all over the map, but we're talking about the right things. Let's talk about, stupid, very true. Um, Ford, mind you, when Ford had this approach in the 80s to quality, this was before I showed up, so you can't blame me. I worked for Ford for 10 years, but that wasn't me. Waste, I like that, right? Out of control. A lot of people wrote nothing. Don't know what that means. Okay. Missing information, that probably led to a lot of the defects. Out of control. When we look at process control and capability, definitely out of control. All right. So that being said, I think we've kind of captured all the major points. Thank you for participating. We're going to use this again. All right. Now, mind you, when we go through this Slido tool, we can download the responses and we can share them all with you. It's going to be a little bit more relevant as we go on. All right. Thank you for participating in the first Slido. Sorry for the technical difficulties. Okay, I think I introduced who I was. I have 30 years of experience under my belt between the automotive industry and the renewable energy industry. In the automotive industry, I spent about 10 years with Ford Motor Company as various design and release, Six Sigma Black Belt, et cetera. And then I spent 15 years in the renewable energy space, 11 of which with Vestas, 4 here in Denmark, 7 over in the US, all right? I'm on the board for APQP4Wind, but I've been with APQP4Wind from the beginning when Henning first approached me and said, Ike, what happened in the automotive industry? You were at Ford when AIAG all came together. And we're having the same discussions with our suppliers right now. Suppliers are coming to us and saying, Vestas wants one thing, Siemens Gamesa wants another, GE wants another, but at the end of the day, it's driving variability and it's driving complexity and cost. And so that's how APQP4Wind kind of got started with some of those initial discussions. And it's grown into this incredible organization with all of you. I'm a country ambassador for APQP4Wind, US and Canada. An interesting thing, I actually happen to be an elected public official. I'm on the school board for the Adams 12 5-star schools. And we have 52 schools, nearly 30,000 students. I'm very proud to be on the school board. And this picture was taken the night of our election victory. Is my lovely wife, my oldest boy, who was 6 years old when we lived in Denmark. The girl on my left side, she is the 17-year-old who gave me the thumbs up for the AI video. And those twins, the other 2 kids, were born right here in Denmark in Esbjerg Hospital. And I don't care what anyone says, Esbjerg does not smell of fish. It smells of money. Beautiful town. So that's a little introduction to me. Now, Rez, who we are and what we do. Now, I'm gonna, tempt fate and try something with regards to IT one more time. Let's see if I can find it. I'm looking for that video. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Thank you. See, I knew I'd be a troublemaker, and everyone is so patient with me. All right, this video, when Sissy finds it, is a video of a wind farm. Interestingly enough, Wayne and I recently visited. Let you see it. All right. That is Goose Harbor Lake in Nova Scotia, Canada. And I thought I wanted to play that because when I was with Vestas, I didn't have a chance to visit too many wind sites before we put up turbines. before blades came on board. And to me, visiting Goose Harbor Lake with Wayne about 2 months ago was thereabouts, Wayne, and it was a great experience because it saw, for me, it was an experience to see all the work that's needed to go into building a wind farm. The civil works, building the roads, managing the environment, right? All the electrical, the transformers, the wires that need to be pulled, and the health and safety. I think it was Lisbeth that talked about the merging between health and safety and quality. I never had an appreciation for it until I went to Goose Harbor Lake, and now I'm looking forward to going to more. But that is what RES does. We are an independent renewable energy company, been around for about 40, actually 45 years thereabouts. We punch above our weight class. We only deal with renewable energy. So we compete with the Osterolds of the world and the Vattenfalls and the Total Energies. And we have wind, solar, battery electric storage, P2X, as well as hydro resources and assets, right? We deal with, we're full EPC. So we deal with engineering, engineering, procurement, and construction, but also O&M and service. We're getting more and more into O&M and service. And we joined APQP4Wind in 2024, right around the time I came to RES. And we're committed to supporting the development of everyone having access to clean, affordable, renewable energy. Our company is owned by the McAlpines, a family in the UK, and they are very keen on this mission. And I'm proud to be part of RES and on the customer side of things as opposed to on the OEM side. Okay. Now, I'm going to put you to work again. So take out your phones. Hopefully we'll have some more success. So in your business scope, whether in engineering, manufacturing, construction, O&M, or service, it includes which type of renewable energy. Now, I know most of you deal with wind, but some of you here deal with wind and BESS. Some may deal with wind and solar. Some may deal with any combination of all of these. And there's a method to my madness in getting this information as you fill it out. All right, let's see what things look like. Oh, we got lots of combinations. This is really good to see. All right. Thank you. I'm gonna start talking as you still fill this out. Now, there's a method to the madness here in this question. Working with Kim, and CEO of APQP4Wind, and Gert and the rest of the board, we're looking to grow the APQP4Wind name. There's a number of ways we can do that. One is by looking at a regional approach where we look to a growing and huge market like China. And we have great colleagues, for instance, from Goldwind. Great engineering, great manufacturing, and great quality. A nice combination between the government supporting as well as innovation from the private sector. That's one. But the second one is APQP4Wind is a well-known name with great tools, great products. Why not apply it to solar, BESS, P2X, hydro, other forms of renewable energy? That's a great gold mine in terms of growth for APQP4Wind and growth for all of us to learn more and improve our businesses, right? So this is actually very interesting. So we have obviously a lot of opportunity to do just that. Thank you for participating. And again, if you're interested in some of this information, I can download it and share it with you after we finish. Okay. So standardization, quality assurance, that's kind of the name of the game in RES right now. Why RES focuses on APQP4Wind? It's to drive speed, profitability, et cetera, et cetera. And when I was putting together this slide, I was thinking, what's a really succinct way of kind of, pushing our theme of quality being a business enabler, what it means to RES in terms of commonality, standardization, and quality assurance. And Kim summarized it absolutely perfectly, I thought. I'm not a big fan of reading off of slides, but I'll read off of this one. Quality is not a cost. It is a most effective lever we have to reduce risk, lower levelized costs of electricity, and protect profitability. That's from Kim. I think it summarizes it way better than I ever could. And I think and looking at the graphs below, that's where the rubber hits the road. Some of the speakers in the morning talked about this. Levelized cost of electricity over the almost 20 years now for wind and solar has dropped dramatically. And what's an enabler for that is the iceberg. Everyone's seen the iceberg, right? I want to see a show of hands. Anyone who has not seen the iceberg, I want to see your quality card on the way out, because we all work to this, right? When we control cost of poor quality, we drive levelized costs of electricity lower. Now, I'm curious, why do you think we've had such a drop in levelized cost of electricity for wind and solar over the last almost 20 years? Just throw out some reasons. Don't be shy. Anyone? Johnny? More effective turbines, so more effective technology. Excellent. That's one. Excellent. Scaling. It's funny. That's a really good one. What's your name? Peter. When I was with Vestas, I had a chance to work with a gentleman named Ulla Sunderbu. And I remember sitting down with him one time and saying, why do we need to have huge turbines, right? And how does that lower levelized cost of electricity? And I have to admit, at the time, I didn't quite understand it. But he basically pointed to that as lowering the levelized cost of energy. The bigger the machines, economies of scale, that's going to drive down costs. Very good one. Exactly. Exactly. Yep. And that's the case in any industry. Very good point. Please. Learning curve. What do you mean by learning curve? Yes. The quality behaviors. I like that. I like that, Aaron. Very good. Very good. Cost of capital. That's another one. Exactly. So we look at the total cost of a project. I think someone in the morning mentioned that. We look at the total cost of a project, not just the piece cost. How many times have we talked with someone in purchasing? They say, Ike, this is 5 cents cheaper than this part that you want. But if you look at the total cost in terms of risk, it is actually higher. That's what you're kind of alluding to, right? Very good point. All right, please. Global supply chain, which if is Jan still here? He's not here anymore, but Jan threw up some interesting information about how that could be a risk. But you see that as actually being an opportunity as well. Exactly. It definitely can reduce costs. Cause other risk, but it can definitely reduce costs. Very good point. Very good input. Really appreciate it. All right, I'm going to put you to work, I think, one more time. All right. I told you I'm going to put you to work, because if I have to just talk at you, I'm going to fall asleep because it's 5:30 in the morning my time. So what can APQP4Wind as an organization do to help you lower your COPQ and subsequently your levelized cost of electricity? Now, I'm going to lead this a little bit. It could be new guidelines of procedures, new product offerings. Where's Karen Vaibu? Karen, where's your hand? Karen is one of our great APQP4Wind trainers. I just completed my specialist refresher training. And when I think about the great training Karen has done, let's leverage great training like that to really drive COPQ down to lower levels, right? So what exactly can we do? I really like this. All right. It's working a little better now. This is awesome. So, common themes. Standardization according to the word cloud, right? Common language. These are some of the points that we talked about this morning. Loren actually talked about some of these points, as did Elizabeth, as did Charlotta and Sebastian, right? As did, yeah, common language. I like this. I like this. Preventative failures, standardized product development. So common theme. Oh, 5 minutes. Okay. Thank you, Christina. All right. So really appreciate the input into this. We definitely have some common themes here. All right, I'm going to whip through this really quick. Specifically, what has APQP4Wind meant to RES? For us, if you look at the picture, we kind of see quality assurance as an asset, a piggy bank, it's an investment. While we see quality control, our NCs, our problems out in the field is almost like a credit card because you're going to pay for it and you're going to pay interest, right? So for us in Res, what we're trying to do is drive more to quality assurance. So that doesn't mean we avoid quality control. And quality control for us means implementing the 8D process, a standard process that we use across the Americas and that we're trying to implement across all of Res. So our best or first 8D was done on the APQP4Wind project, which is up in Canada. We had quite a bit of work with the civil works in terms of building and maintaining roads to the tune of $2 million. So we went through the 8D, we understood what went wrong, and we captured those lessons learned by doing a DFMEA in it. And so now on a quarterly basis, we meet with the civil engineers in Res, and we go through and see what's changed. Are we still following our processes and procedures? Is there anything more we can learn with the hopes of avoiding $2 million in COPQ again? So another thing we've done in quality assurance that's been inspired by APQP4Wind is we implemented PPAP on our solar business. 2 key suppliers, transformer suppliers, and 12 sub-suppliers, a total of $60 million in spend. So that's all about standardization. If we all have our suppliers rowing in the same direction, it's easier to support them. We get the same product from them. We get predictability from them, right? So the next part of the slide, plan, do, check, act. Everyone's heard of that? Again, if you have not, I will grab your quality card as you leave the building. And my old boss, and I think many of us from Vestas, our old boss, Neil Jones, who passed away a few years ago, but he left an incredible mark on Vestas and all of us. He used to joke that continuous improvement in quality was like Sisyphus rolling the stone uphill. And that's what continuous improvement is all about. It never ends. It's something we're always pushing to do. So for the continuous improvement for Res, we focused on a few items. We implemented quality walks. That was actually a great idea from my colleague Wayne. We already had safety walks. Why not have the folks looking at quality issues too? Kill 2 birds with 1 stone, the integration of quality and safety. 200 completed so far. 2, the Qualified Electrical Worker Program. We had if we look at the Pareto of safety issues, again, what Elizabeth mentioned, it shocks. So why not have an electrical worker program that addresses the health and safety, but also the quality issues because the workers aren't doing the product or the process correctly. 189 folks trained out of our Weatherford, Texas site. And 3, rolling construction service work instructions. How many times do we create service work instructions, FMEAs, and we put them put them away and they kind of collect dust? So what we've done is we actually have rolling updates to make sure that workers avoid, and this was mentioned earlier, complacency. And we make sure that workers are constantly trained on updates so that we continuously improve ourselves. So for Res, this is what APQP4Wind has meant. It's inspired us to do all of this, which is quality assurance, standardization. All right, really quick, 1 minute. I think I can get it done, Christina. We have some threats at Res, and in Res we talk about psychological safety, being comfortable with sharing ourselves, bearing ourselves, stopping the line, saying something's wrong, holding up our hands. And you are all colleagues and friends, so I think that we can talk about some threats to Res really quick. In Res, we still focus on quality control versus assurance. Inspection, inspection, inspection. And Wayne and myself are constantly saying, no, we need to do avoidance. We need to do assurance. 2, blaming the worker versus blaming the system. Now, if I had more time, I'd go into a story about when I worked for Ford. I was going through a Mazda transmission factory, and I had one of my handlers, as I was going through the factory, tell me about how Mazda and in Japan has a very, very different view on blaming workers versus blaming the system versus America. 3, adapting manufacturing in terms of APQP4Wind to construction. That's something Wayne and I talk about all the time. And we actually have a work group doing that. 4, inability or lack of control or culture in tracking cost of poor quality. It's kind of hard to improve if you don't know where you're at. It's kind of hard to improve if you can't connect it to a business metric. Because I can come in, if I were working for Elizabeth, I could come in all day and talk about DFMEAs, but unless it points to the business, I'm not going to get her attention. And finally, quality still in res can be seen as conflicting with delivery and cost, as opposed to being an enabler, when that is the theme of why we're here today. So Wayne and I have a lot of work to do. It's not easy, but I think that in being open with all of you, I think many of you have these same challenges. So I'm out of time. I wish I could have gone into the story about my time in Japan. But before I get off stage, I want to thank all of you for having psychological safety. We're all competitors, the fact of the matter is. And despite being competitors, we're willing to share what we can. And that takes courage so that we can move our entire industry forward, regardless of region, regardless of culture, because we all believe in the same thing: driving for clean, affordable, renewable energy for everyone. So thank you for your time. If you have any questions for me or Wayne, we are here. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Let me help you with that one. Thank you very much, Ike. A very strong presentation. I think we have time for a tiny question, if anybody has.
I ran out of time.
I'm
really
afraid
quick.
that I shouldn't open the box about the Japanese story. I think that will. So we can take that.
I can't.
Afterwards, right?
It's funny. Yeah, it's funny. I lived in Denmark for 4 years, and all my Danish friends and colleagues have a good laugh when Ike speaks Danish. I'm sure that everyone goes home and says to their spouse, "Oh, Ike spoke Danish to them again today," and it's a great laugh. But I studied Japanese in college for 3 years and worked for Ford in Japan. So I really got a lot out of that in terms of quality. It was really a formative memory for me. So looking forward to talking more about that. Thank you.
Thank you very much.